Hey there, everybody! Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed Spoilers. We are now just a few weeks away from the end of this season.
We're almost there.
I'm sure these final weeks will be jam-packed full of excitement and drama and twists. They're gonna have 5 Pandora's boxes and America's vote.
No.
Big Brother Unicorn Land. Here's the thing, everyone. I am taking over as executive producer for the final. This is not true. But anyway, we do have an eviction show tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Is there a chance that the vote or the plan is going to flip or change? There is at least a conversation that happened last night. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's put that, but it's still conversation. We have to take what we can here.
Yeah, and it was with some pretty influential people in the house.
Before we get into anything more, though, if you guys do like this video, subscribe, give us a like, hit that notification bell for more, and if you do want to support us further, check those links. We have our store and also our Patreon.
Okay, so let's talk about that conversation. So Cody and Enzo were both talking about the idea of maybe keeping Tyler. And it seemed like that conversation was really serious, that it wasn't just kind of like a ha, nah, really, we're getting rid of him. That they were kind of laying it out of why they should maybe keep Tyler. The unfortunate thing is that this is all really hinging on Nicole, because Memphis is getting rid of Tyler. He wants to keep Christmas. There is no moving that needle.
No.
But if Enzo, Enzo's a little more flexible, but Nicole has not been flexible. As much as she does not like Christmas, she feels that she needs to get Tyler out for her game, and she is correct.
It is a complicated situation here. It's one that's probably not going to change, because I do feel like somewhere in the back of their minds, Enzo and Cody both know that keeping Tyler isn't that bad, because he's a target that people are going to want to get rid of before the final 2. And I think Christmas, there's no urgency to get rid of Christmas. And I know there's conversations about taking her out next, but who over there on that jury right now is like, you know who I want to hand 500 grand to Christmas? That's not happening.
No, it's not. And it's always good to keep someone around like that in case you're the person who gets to go to the end with Christmas. But then that leaves Christmas as a choice for everybody to go to the end with. And if you have somebody like Christmas around, then they're probably going to choose Christmas over you if they're playing this game to win.
And I think the other component of this, for Enzo anyway, is he does have a final 2 with Memphis. And I think he probably thinks, okay, if I get rid of Christmas, that's it. Enzo will just work with me, I've got it locked in. I don't know if he's considering the idea that maybe Memphis would not be as happy with him if he got rid of Christmas.
Yeah, but he wouldn't really have any other options. But it does put Enzo in a really good spot where he's got a final 2 with Cody, he's got a final 2 with Memphis. If either one of them wins, conceivably they would take him to the end.
Like you said, though, the problem is that Enzo and Cody, they had a little bit of this talk, but then Nicole kind of comes in, does her whole campaign for why Tyler should go. She leaves. It seems like they're okay with the plan. I don't know if this is really a situation where they are like really fully on board, or they're just sort of like, well, Nicole's not changing her mind, so we probably are better off not ticking her off so that she just flips on us after this vote for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I understand that they would be a little bit worried about that, but at the same time, Nicole doesn't really have anybody but them. We're so late in the game. Memphis is not going to be turning on Christmas, and he's not going to be turning on Enzo, so he's not going to be all of a sudden pulling in Nicole. Nicole is protected right now by Cody and a little by Enzo, but she needs them more than they need her.
Maybe they just have like a classic case of paranoia here where Cody is like, I can't compete in this next HOH, so I need to make sure that I have as many people who are supporting me as possible in there.
Yeah, it's also just Nicole hasn't won anything this season, so is she really the threat? And we talked about the idea that maybe the next thing is a slip and slide. She's not winning the slip and slide. It's not really built for small people like me.
By the way, I apologize, and after the fact for that Cody impression, it is not as good as my other people. I will not do it again.
Yeah, you're throwing in the yo's now, and I know that he is also picking up the yo's. I'm like, Is this a Cody Enzo
See,
mashup? Because that is what is happening on the show.
Cody is just yo, like. You just it's just two words back and forth.
Yo, that's it.
Like, yeah, yo. It's okay. All right. Well, the situation for Tyler is he's still trying, I think, his best to sort of figure out some sort of way to make something happen here. He's tried to suggest things that, Memphis, Christmas, these are people who are coming after Cody. He's not someone who would come after Cody right away, and I guess this would be prolonging the Battle of the Bros a little bit if he stayed, but it's like, once again, this really is a move that only appeals to Cody, and Cody is not voting, so I don't think this pitch has a lot of merit to it.
It doesn't, and it does. So it doesn't because obviously Cody's not voting around that. However, Cody does have some influence with Nicole. And I know we just talked about that conversation that the three of them had with Enzo, and Nicole's really stuck where she's stuck. But it is only Wednesday, like early afternoon. There is still time to work something with Nicole. And Cody and Enzo have influence. So if they do really want to make this happen, and I think for them, keeping Tyler is the better situation. Not for Nicole, but it is, it's more of a possibility that Tyler's going to feel a little bit of loyalty, that they kept him, so maybe he will just go after Memphis. And Christmas is just like abandoned ship on Tyler, so I think he's over that anyways. He really is pushing the Memphis and Christmas are a duo when really they were the duo, but she's run the bus over him, so that's done.
Also, the continued adventures of Christmas annoys the you-know-what out of everyone is continuing. Like, there was this moment where they brought in booze to the house last night, and she, grabs it, and it's just like, who's ready to party? Insert bleep for it.
The party's here! And everyone was just all silent.
It was almost like a sitcom moment. It's like, how do you not pick up on this Christmas that everyone is just so over you at this point?
That they can't even pretend.
The other ridiculous moment we have going on here is that I feel like Christmas is slowly morphing into Rockstar, because tomorrow just so happens to be Loyal's birthday, and I already get the feeling that she wants to win HOH. She wants to, get up there in front of everyone and be like, this is for you, Loyal. This is for your birthday. Happy birthday. And is like the extra kick to win HOH. Not like you really need an extra kick to win HOH at Final 5.
Also, Christmas really needs to win this. She is in huge trouble.
Imagine, though, the meltdown in the event that it is, really close between, her and one other person in the HOH and she loses it by a couple of seconds. I feel like there's a 70% chance she's gonna be like, this was Loyal's birthday. How dare you take this from me? I hope that is actually what happens.
It's possible that goes down like that, but I would rather deal with that momentary meltdown than a whole week of Christmas being HOH and walking around in that robe and feeling herself a little too much.
By the way, other people in the house are totally overhearing about Loyal's birthday, and it hasn't even happened yet. That is really the best part of all of this.
Listen, Christmas. I know you're listening to me right now.
Yeah.
If you don't win, you can still celebrate Loyal's birthday. It can still happen. You can still shout it out to the feeds. Everyone will see it. It'll be okay.
Trust me, we will never forget Loyal's birthday. We never forget Rockstar's daughter's birthday either.
No.
It is just a thing. So, one of the other things I'm a little bit happy to have right now, though, is it's not often, at least right now, that we get insight from people directly. Especially Enzo, because we're usually left with him being an unreliable narrator in the diary room where he makes false promises to us of big moves.
Yeah, and I mean, when he's talking to people, he promises everybody the moon and the sun as well. So it's difficult to kind of know exactly where he is a lot of the time.
But he did say to us yesterday that he does want Christmas out next, mostly because, he does want to make sure that he has Memphis for himself, that's something that's not going to impede him, and he realizes because Enzo, he is in a really good spot with a lot of different people, both I think ultimately he wants that Cody, Memphis himself final 3 because I think he thinks that both of them would take him to the end over each other, which I think is probably true.
I think that's true as well. I think Cody feels like he can beat everyone, and besides maybe Enzo, I think Cody does beat everyone. But Memphis, I think, knows that he probably can't beat Cody.
I'm going to put something out there because I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this the past 24 hours.
All right.
I'm not saying I want this. Let's make this very, very clear.
Okay, clear. We got it.
Cody versus Nicole. Nicole probably has Ian's vote.
Maybe,
but it seems like he respected her move after the fact and they have a relationship on the outside.
It's true, but Ian's also a game player, so he may be looking at everything. Ian he really does look at a whole picture.
It's true, but if she's got Ian's vote, she's probably got Danny's vote.
Maybe.
Because Danny seems to be very bitter about Cody.
She's also a game player, though.
Let's see, we'll see. But if she
Okay.
has those two, Kevin really does not like Cody on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
That could be 3 votes for Nicole.
I think you're about to have to see yourself
I'm
out
not
here,
saying
Matt.
that I want this. I'm just saying I think it may actually be just as safe to go to the end with Enzo because there aren't a lot of people who I say for sure or that I feel pretty good these are people who are going to vote Enzo at the end of it. It's possible Enzo gets like a ton of votes and beats Cody. It's just I feel like Nicole has something closer to a couple of votes.
Absolutely, I think she has a couple of votes. I think Enzo would have a couple of votes as well. I don't think that Nicole is drawing dead in this jury. It's not going to be a clean sweep. It's just not going to happen. But do I think she's going to beat Cody? I really don't. This is for all-stars. And people like Ian and people like Danny who are on the jury are going to be less bitter and are going to be more just really looking at who played the best game, especially Ian. I mean, he really is a game player, and I know that he's friends with Nicole outside the house, and so is Danny, but I mean, this is for all-stars, and while we're all like, all-stars, they're not. They feel that they are playing all-stars, and they are playing all-stars, so they want to make sure that they give it to the right person. And Nicole has played a decent game, but she hasn't played a 2-time winner game. And I think people are going to take that into consideration.
I hope that is the case. I will be very unhappy if Nicole beats Cody because I think Cody has played a far better game. And
I don't think anybody's going to be happy with that.
No. Like, I'm not saying I'm not like waving the Cody flag over here, but Cody has played a great game.
Yes, he has. He does. I'm not a Cody fan either, but he deserves to win this game. And I say that as someone who chose Enzo.
Yeah, I would much rather see Enzo win, let's make that very, very clear.
I also think Enzo has played a great game. And I think if this was sort of old Big Brother where these types of moves and stuff could all be seen, then I think that he would beat Cody.
One element of Enzo that seems to be a little bit delusional right now is he seems to have this idea that maybe Cody or Memphis could get rid of Nicole for him. I don't think Cody's going to do that for you, Enzo. I think Cody wants to go to the final 3 with Nicole and Enzo because I think that is a final 3 scenario that benefits him a whole lot more.
Yeah, and I don't know why Enzo is scared to get rid of Nicole anyways. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, if you don't have her jury vote, that's fine. You can get other jury votes. That's just one person.
Enzo has done a fantastic job with the jury, with every person that's leaving. If he doesn't have Nicole, he doesn't have Nicole.
It sounds to me like he probably wants her out at Final Four, and this... If I'm Enzo, this is what I do. I win that Final Four veto and I take her out because then you have on your resume you got rid of a winner in this game, and that's something for people who kind of doubted that you didn't win enough or you were in Cody's shadow, because that's a move that Cody wouldn't necessarily 100% approve of, I don't think, at that time.
Yeah, I think that if Cody has a choice to bring Nicole and Enzo, go to the end with them and make his choice, that he would much rather that. But I think if Enzo takes out Nicole at that point, Cody's not going to turn around and be like, oh, well, Enzo, I guess I'm taking Memphis at the end. Like, I don't think he wants to sit with Memphis either. Memphis has won a lot of HOHs. And yeah, there's people in the jury that don't like him, but there's other people that respect that he's been pretty honest with everybody.
Cody likes to bring people he's loyal to the end, for better or for much, much worse. We have seen that at this point.
Yes.
So, finally, from the Memphis point of view here, I think... Memphis also is delusional, because he seems to think after this HOH, if Tyler goes, he can try to find a way to convince Cody to get rid of Nicole instead of Christmas. Maybe he thinks that this isn't possible, but he's at least thinking that this is something he might need to do. Newsflash, Memphis. You're not that good of a player. You're not that persuasive. You're not going to get Cody to do this. And like, you're fine when it comes to winning a couple of competitions, but this is not your game.
Well, it also makes me wonder then a little bit if Nicole and Cody have done a good enough job with Memphis, or that Memphis just hasn't been paying attention to how close those two actually are.
Memphis's other problem in HOH is with the way that he is going with this injury list at the moment. It's like,
I know he's like hurt his foot, he's hurt his back.
He's gonna be like participating in the final HOH, just like with stretchers, bandages all over the place. He's on the injury list right now. If this is the slip and slide competition,
Oh no, yeah, no, it's gonna go badly.
Memphis,
for him.
just scoot on your butt the whole way. You won't win, but it'll at least be funny.
That's how I would be doing it.
I
I don't have the stamina for that.
I would eventually just start turning into like Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, just like sort of like crawling across. I'm not gonna win this, so I'm at least gonna give the people what they want, which is
The people are me.
yeah. Well, I play to the audience here, people. It's competitions I can't win, but we'll sign off on this edition of Big Brother 22 All Stars live feed spoilers. Open that we'll be back later after the episode, but for now. What do you think Tyler can do today? Do you believe that really Enzo and Cody could want to keep him? Let us know in the comments. If you do like this discussion, subscribe for more, give us a like, support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.